candidate to lead the party. And this morning is there in that capacity. But there's no way we can talk to him without talking about one of the most popular issues in Ghana today. Team Legal Wife and another team. He represents one team. He's a very popular lawyer. You should go on TikTok and see the way people are talking about him. Lawyer William Kusi, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Have you realized that you are this popular? You're one of the most popular lawyers in Ghana today. Have you realized that?
Well, by divine means.
Yes.
It is God who wanted to announce me. But I've been in the media circles for some time now.
Okay.
But the Akosua Serwaa wave was a different.
It's a different way for you.
Exactly.
But have you also gotten criticism, attacks?
Of course.
From some quarters that
several.
This lawyer, what is it?
You get lay people teaching you how to
go about your business.
Your business.
And some people pretending to know better than you.
Writing theses. Hey. And you know, there are legal brains who are also interested in the matter. So there are discussions all over. But
and some people too say you are a very fine gentleman. The last time I was on TikTok and I saw on Charlie lawyer being in that Charlie, everything is.
Oh, I'm a gentleman.
Point.
In fact,
you see, you're dressing everything.
I'm a decent man. You see, decent not in terms of clothes.
Okay, but in terms of character.
Internally, I'm decent.
Oh, okay.
And that is where I derive my confidence.
Now, briefly on Akosua Serwaa and
very brief. Because
we'll be very brief.
I've been advised not to talk about
We'll try to be very brief.
Exactly.
For those of us who are listening and who may not know exactly what the issues are, summarize for us. What's the core issue of your client?
Summary. You know, in practice and when we went to school, we learned that when one marries under the ordinance, that person cannot under any circumstance marry a second wife because it's strictly monogamous. But if you look at the other traditions, in the custom marriage, you can marry as many as you can. Islam is 4. And all that. So this Akosua Serwaa issue came before me. It was at a time when Akosua had allegedly instructed a lawyer to write to Akosua Serwaa that she's a divorcee and that she would not be permitted to play any role if they even give her the opportunity to be a privilege. Exactly. And
you saw that letter?
Yes. They tendered it in court. And so it was based on that. I advised that, okay, so the only way you can then assert your status as well is to go to court. So it's a straightforward matter. It is notoriously known that you were married to Lumba under the German civil law. And that is strictly monogamous. So we embarked on the trial. This issue of injunction came up because
you're referring to the injunction imposed on the funeral.
Because whilst the matter was going, they were earnestly preparing to conduct the funeral. We thought that if that happens, it may affect the urgency of the case. So we sought an injunction. Otherwise, the suit had nothing to do with the funeral or body of Lumba. You get the point?
Okay.
It had nothing to do with it.
When the injunction was imposed on the funeral, some were of the view that the actions of your client was subjecting the name or the legendary name of Daddy Lumba into disrepute, and that you're not giving him the honor that he deserves, and you are more or less dragging his name into the mud. And they felt that the legend did not deserve that.
The author of the letter should have thought about that. The woman was desperately protecting her status, and that was the only way out. So the one who wrote the letter, who dragged the name of Lumba, not the one who was trying to defend her position. You get the point? Because assuming that there was no such letter,
you wouldn't have reacted.
And the issue was about the two of them performing the widowhood. I mean, there would not be the need to go to court. But to suggest that she's not a wife, when she knows she is. As a matter of fact, if you listen to the history and the story, she played a very important role in making Lumba who he is.
Yeah. But is it not true that the cracks of your case also sought to suggest that the other partner should not be recognized as a partner to Daddy Lumba? Why?
Legally. because she cannot be a wife if indeed Serwaa is married under the German civil marriage.
But we also read the ruling that, and the judge said you couldn't prove with evidence that indeed she was married to him.
That is the opinion of the judge.
You disagree?
Vehemently.
Were you able to provide the evidence?
More than. You see, I don't want to go to the merits now, but...
no, but that's the one that has already been dealt with. So that's why we are...
but we are on appeal.
Okay, I know.
You see, and I have made this comment. A level of, let me be charitable, misunderstanding in the legal practice. Look, before you can comment on a judgment, you should get the proceedings. Because you give evidence in court, and out of the proceedings, the court then take a decision on the matter. A court who is interested in going this way can ignore all the evidence you let. Because some of the evidence was on the media, and look at the judgment when we were cross-examining the head of family. The court didn't consider that necessary. Even gave credence to the evidence of the Bushman, somebody who said he knew nothing. I wasn't there. I don't know. I wasn't there. He said he preferred that one to our evidence. So if you take time and read the proceedings, you would agree with me. There was overwhelming evidence. In fact, the one who spoke, the witness of the second defendant, Odobroni, said that Lumba himself told them that he had married Akosua under the German marriage. But it has broken down beyond reconciliation. It's different from having been dissolved. You get the point. And the law, you see, probably people don't feel like I do because I'm a lawyer. The law says that the law says that even if they are married and it has not been, there's not been a divorce decree, they could be apart 80 years. They are still married. That's what the law says.
But some think she abandoned the man when he needed her the most for 16 years. And so she couldn't...
That assertion too was very wrong. And it is it grammar or logic? I am living in my matrimonial home with my wife. We have 3 kids. And we are German. Both of us are German nationals. Then one party leaves the matrimonial home, his country of origin, let me put that way, and then travels to another place, and the court is saying that the one who stayed has abandoned the one who left. Is it possible?
But the court...
Who abandoned who?
But the court, the court believed that Daddy Lumba was an Ashanti and that he originated from Ghana. And so even though he may have gone through the legal process of attaining citizenship in Germany, it doesn't negate his citizenship as a Ghanaian.
Listen to me. Before you can acquire German nationality, you renounce yours. And we have certificate of renunciation by Lumba.
We do?
Yes.
And you attended that?
Yes, he had to renounce his citizenship in order to acquire the German nationality. And so, by birth, yes. By choice, he's a German. You get the point. So, to say somebody deserted another, the one who left the matrimonial home and their place of domicile is the one who has abandoned or deserted the other, not the other way around. You get the point. So you are telling me that when Lumba left his matrimonial home, the wife should have chased her.
Especially because at a point he was very sick, and some felt that if you're legally married to somebody, there's responsibility attached to that, which is to take care of the person, especially when the person needs you the most. Yes. And so your unavailability for some people is automatic, more or less renunciation of whatever connects them.
It cannot be. They had children, they had properties in Germany, and the best medical facilities are in Germany. So if you tell me he was here, because it cannot be. It can never be. The best medical facilities are not in Kuala Lumpur or Konfanochi. It's in Germany. So if Lumba relocated, he might have had another reason for doing so, not because he was sick.
Based on your interaction with your client, did she say she tried to get him into Germany too?
Of course. And he always promised that he was coming. Even when she wanted to come after 2018, when she last visited Ghana, she said she tried several times trying to come and say, oh, wait, I'll come. Don't come. But you agree with me why he said that. Because at that time, he was busily living with another person.
Does your client recognize Odo Bruni as Lumbe's wife?
No, how can she? It would be an illegality on her part to do so. It's bigamous, criminal offense.
Criminal offense?
Yes, for Lumba to have married the second wife because he was married under the German monogamous marriage. In Ghana, if you marry under ordinance and you marry another woman, you commit bigamy. You'll be tried and imprisoned. It applies to Germany. So for her, as far as she believes that she's a legally married wife under the monogamous marriage, she cannot accept another one.
Finally,
she will be committing an offense.
Finally, before we go to Kennedy Airport, is it true that your client is willing to hold a separate or another funeral, let me put it that way, for Daddy Lumba?
No, that's not correct. The family wants, not my. You see, let's draw the line. She is a spouse, and there is a family. We have conceded that the body is for the family, and the funeral is for the family. As a widow, she has a role to play under the account custom. You get the point?
So she doesn't have any intention.
No.
To hold it.
She would attend any funeral that is legitimately
held by the family.
Yes, but not. She cannot organize.
Spearhead.
Okay. No, she won't do that.
Janice.
Lawyer, please, I want to ask a little bit of a generalized question.
Okay.
So let's use this as a case study. So in the event where a man legally marries one wife and then marries another customarily, and the other party does not have any knowledge of his legal marriage to his first wife, what are the implications if the man dies to the second party, the one who was?
You are not a wife; you are a mistress.
So the law won't recognize you as a wife.
No, not at all.
You are not entitled to.
No, not at all. You are any child you
had with the man.
The man is a legitimate child. The child is as entitled to the man's assets as any child the man might have given birth to, including the legally.
Okay.
For the children, they are protected by the law.
But then the wife.
But wife, you get nothing.
Okay.
You see, so in the case of Odo Bruni, assuming they are peace or cease, she gets nothing, but she has 6 children with Lumba.
And the children are going to be protected by the wife. Okay.
So the case you are appealing the ruling of the the High Court, correct?
So.
And when would the hearing commence, or it has already?
That is reserved for the court. In fact, appeal is a process, so they are working on it.
Are you not overwhelmed by the pressure?
At times,
because some people, lawyer,
at times I get irritated, especially when lay people want to teach you how to do your work. And apart from that, comments are free. You get it.
You're not bothered.
No.
You have a very tough skin.
Yes, for me.
You're like your boss.
Like I said, I am transparent, so I'm not moved by anything you say. People have threatened, will bring your naked, nude pictures. Oh yes.
Because of your involvement in this case.
Yes, they've threatened to kill my wife if I don't stop the appeal and all that. And I said, well, then it means that they are aware that the judgment was bad.
Why don't you think about the safety of your wife? And
I am thinking about the safety of my wife.
So why don't you withdraw from?
We are thinking about it.
You're thinking about it?
Yeah.
Means that it may be possible that you may withdraw from the case.
Why not? Everything is possible.
Interesting. Finally, the way that the matter was dealt with, the injunction on the funeral in Accra, I think Accra High Court also, a ruling was given, and then the judge, we are told that in his office also came back to say an amount should be.
He invited the lawyers, called them, got the register to court. They should come back.
Is it normal in?
It is not. It's absurd. It's unspeakable. You see, and to me, God did that to vindicate me.
So,
because if it were a normal case, and that will not happen. Such illegality cannot happen in a normal case. It shows that
do you think there were some hands somewhere?
Oh, why not?
How
can a judge who has reasoned, in fact, he gave a reasoned judgment, then call back and say that no, within 1.5 hours, do the impossible, raise an amount of 2 million Ghana cedis within 1.5 hours. No bank will be able to assemble that money during that time. So it was an impossibility. Yes. I expected civil society organizations to make comments. You see, after that act, because to me, it will take years to correct that
anomaly.
Yes, because this case has some international semblance, so you can't deal with it as if it's just a local matter. So if the international community hears these things, what are they going to say about us in our judiciary?
Interesting. Lawyer William Kusi, let's move away from your legal field and go into some politics. You were part of the committee that reviewed the reasons why MPP lost in...
I was a member of the Reconciliation Committee.
Oh, it's a Reconciliation Committee right now. Okay. Now, let's start the conversation. You are making a case for Kennedy upon this time around.
That is so.
Why? What's the compelling reason?
In fact, this time around, the story is different from the first one because even though our reasons are the same, there is justification and evidence that we were right in 2023. Remember, we urged the delegates to vote for Kennedy Japan to enable us win the election. And they said no, they preferred the other candidate. They voted for him, and it was a disaster. Government in power, contesting an election. Look, we have a chart from Professor Dubuahin, 1 point something, up to 6 million votes.
Yes.
Even when we lost the elections, we progressed in terms of numbers. For the first time, the chart started descending. 2.1 whooping numbers dropped.
Because some say this was the reflection of the governance of Nanado. It was not just because of the candidate you had.
It can be.
The vote reflected.
Let me. I enjoy Bawumia's statements after the election because he called it the data. He says that it is not that Ghanaians voted for NDC, but 2 million MPP members did not vote.
Yeah, 2.something million.
Let me ask you, if your party is not doing well economically, do you vote against your party? Do you abstain from
You may
voting?
abstain because
Why?
you think that the party has not served you
well.
They have not been
It is the
fair
personality of the leader that was chosen. And I'll give you the reasons. Professor from Paul Manson said something. Boating. So
Yes.
and they are bashing him, but I'm not giving credence to what he said. But at least the argument behind his statement is worth analyzing. He says that look at how they chose the candidate. What went on?
They didn't choose him. They elected him.
Yes, it's a choice. I mean, choosing him in terms of...
Okay, in terms of the... Okay, because somebody may misconstrue
Oh,
that.
no.
Okay.
They elected him for want of better word. And the process was not fair.
But your candidate accepted the results.
Yes.
Everything was okay.
That is why we had I'm talking about why we did not do well. You see, you can't force people to choose somebody. I'll tell you why. And they have done it again. In the tradition of the MPP, the election of the presidential candidate is the last of the process. In 2023, they met and changed it so that the parliamentarians will be waiting to elect the presidential candidate before they are chosen. So that if you don't support him, then you are going home.
You thought that was the reason?
That was the strategy. And it has been repeated. You see that instead of bottom-top approach, they have started from the top. Why? Because they believe that Look, I'll tell you the history of this whole thing. The delegates, the album, the problem started from the album. If you recollect, when they were building the album, you see that you hear that just 2 a.m. they have elected blah 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 blah. So they handpicked the delegates and formed the album. So the impression was that once they are our delegates, some of them were on some stipends and all that, we'll be able to use them to win power. It doesn't always work because some MPs lost even though they did that.
Mm-hmm.
But on a larger scale, it does. And so going into another election, having performed so badly, instead of going back to look at what happened.
They did look into.
They didn't.
They formed 2 committees. There was one in the region headed by Osei Mensa.
That was an illegality. Nobody formed it. They formed it themselves here. But the
An
party
illegality sanctioned by who?
by Chairman Huntumi. It wasn't a national committee.
He was the regional chairman.
Yes, but look, how can
The
there
investigation
let me tell you,
was
how can there be a
confined to the
national,
region.
how can there be a national committee to look at the whole nation, and then Asante region also set up his committee, and before the national committee could come out with its results, Asante has already done that.
There was Professor Michael Quay report.
That is the legitimate one.
There are some research that have been done by some university lecturers and some other individual private agencies.
Yeah.
And it indicates that the large part of the reasons why you lost was because of some of the key decisions that were taken in government.
It is one of them. One of many others. I'm not saying that it didn't play a role. It was one of them. But there were many others. You see, what was the findings of the committee? Nobody knows. Apart from Baumia and General Secretary, nobody knows the findings of the committee. So what was the purpose of that research? A party loses power, we set a committee, let's find out why we lost. The report is delivered on time. Then the party decides not to disclose the content to anybody. Yet they hardly organize conference and say that we are voting from top to bottom. Nothing was wrong. Everything was perfect. So let's vote. That is wrong. If you heal the wounds, you'll be able to move better than covering the wounds. And to me, that is it. I believe strongly that it was because of the advantage that they thought one of the candidates would get. That's why they did that.
Which candidate is this?
One of them.
Dr. Baumia.
I won't mention names.
Okay.
You see, so that is how somebody would take a lead even before the contest. So any other person contesting should work extra hard to bridge the gap. And that is the responsibility of all the others. So this is not an easy contest. The work is quite tough because the delegate system as it is favors somebody. So we thought that we would conduct a fresh election, select new delegates from the bottom, select polling station, constituency, region, then we come to national. Then the presidential can. That is the practice of the party. But for some strange reason, they say, no, let's keep what we have.
But it is not constitutional. You said practice.
Yes, it is our constitution. It's constitutional. But you see, conference has the power
to
exactly.
change that.
Yes, they did it.
So it's within the law.
Oh,
it's legal.
see,
you're a lawyer. Everything they did was legal. Was
yes.
lawful.
I haven't said this. I'm saying it's wrong. You can use the law to do the wrong thing.
So they used the law to do the wrong
when
thing.
people were being detained under Kwame Nkrumah, was it not lawful?
It was.
Was it right?
A lot of people seem to think it wasn't right.
Yes. In fact, there are court decisions that are not right, but they were decisions of the Supreme Court. You get the point? So, it is up to us as a party to love to go back to power. You see? Or stay in opposition. This is a simple thing.
Okay, so lawyer, do you think that with a different candidate, the NPP could have won the 2024
Yes.
elections?
Yeah, I sincerely believe.
Regardless of how you governed.
No, but the one who, you see, he said if it were a different candidate, that candidate would have told us something different from those who were on the forefront of governance. You see, let me give you one example. Let's assume that we go for the primaries and the former vice president wins. Early Congress. Then he has to campaign. Then the dollar is at 10 cedis. Inflation is a single digit, 5 point something. What kind of message is he going to roam the country telling people?
That he can do better?
Yes. How better? They will give you your yardstick. Even though we must admit, MPP started well. Very well.
3 years is very long in governance.
Yes.
Things could change.
Yeah, I know.
Nana Addo did very well in the first
early. So my word is early Congress.
Yeah, so you're saying, okay.
You get the point. Not until things start messing up. It's difficult.
And we hope it doesn't mess up, though.
Oh,
for my part, I don't know
for purposes of power, if it does, we'll be happy.
Why?
So that whoever wins on
the you are a nation wrecker.
No, I'm not at all.
Why? Because Ghanaians are enjoying.
I'm very patriotic.
Ghanaians are enjoying the inflation and the CPI.
Yes, and Cocoa Bot is suffering. They are complaining that the dollar. I mean, they are keeping their dollar because
yes, because the rate is not helping. Now, yes. Some say you also have a history because you've cited what your party has been doing. I mean, the kind of culture that you have built over the period. They say if you look at your history, no individual has emerged as a flag bearer and has been able to win the election when he contested the first time.
It's not correct.
So they give the example of
our party.
So they say Professor Eduboahin, when he attempted in 1992, he failed.
Yeah.
John Kufuor, 1996, failed.
Yeah.
It was in 2000 that he won. So that was his second time. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, 2008, 2012, he won in 2016. So they say by history.
No, by logic.
You don't win the first time.
By logic, Baumia will go 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Is that what you are saying? If Kufuor
did
President Kufuor
twice
times,
and he won the second time.
And Kufuor did 3 times, and also the Baumia will go 4 times. 4 times 4, 16 years. Are you suggesting you should stay in opposition for 16 years? These logics, they are not mathematical. You get the point. The point is that it could be true, but there's always a first time for something. But let me tell you, this history of not winning the first time, I was very active in 1992, 1996. The reason why Kufuor did well for the first time is that contesting with Rawlings and getting 39% is as though he had 80%. The situations are not the same. It's not the same at all. Opaque ballot boxes. The police is monitoring. You see, the man was a dictator.
So the election was not. No, he wasn't a dictator. No, he was a constitutional
No,
president.
I'm telling about his history.
Even though he was
had been a dictator, and we were pleading with him to allow democracy to work. So we have to couch our constitution to protect him, so that eventually
he had a lot of.
We get him out of the system, and they succeeded. So it would have been wrong to try even to win against Rawlings. It was dangerous. You see, so it was a process. This man was changed, Professor Eduboahin, even though the party said that the verdict was stolen. They didn't say it didn't.
Yes, the 1992
They said it was a stolen verdict, but yet they changed him so that he didn't lose on merit. But yet they thought that no, Kufuor would be a better candidate. So let's try him. I was then the campaign manager for Professor Eduboahin in Legon.
Oh, really?
Yes. When we lost against Kufuor. Somebody said Eduboahin was sick. He wasn't sick. He was very active. The people, it was Pienin who worked against Prof.
With his last minute situation.
In fact, he had campaigned so well, and people, the message was said, oh, then we'll change Prof. But when that issue came, the thing came, He went to Kufuor, told Kufuor to openly pronounce that Mpianim is in his camp. He said, Kufuor said he will not do it because he had contested earlier on. He's senior. So if he wanted to support him, he should support him. Then eventually they voted for Kufuor. You see, so the 39% was perfect.
Was better than the 41 that you got.
Yes, given the circumstance. This is an incumbent, somebody in power who has nursed the love of trying to become a president. He prepared himself for it and went to the contest. In terms of logistics, he didn't find himself wanting. In terms of exposure, he took advantage of his office and everything to comb the whole country. So he had a lot of advantages. You get the point. As against Kufuor, if you come to Akufo-Addo won the first election.
But
couldn't
2008.
But couldn't get the 50+1.
No, he lost eventually.
But
he led in the first round.
The first, he
led in the first round.
Leading,
and then there was a second round,
yes.
And then there was time.
Exactly.
So teams.
You get the point. So that such performance cannot be thrown overboard. Somebody who almost won. You get the point. But if you look at how the chart has suddenly descended, the whole concept of politics is power. And MPP wants power.
Why do you think Kennedy is the best to give you power? What is in him that you think will make him...
I don't know if you have made a survey here at the mall. One morning, just go and stand here and ask people. Who do you want to become amongst them? They will tell you it's Kennedy Japan. So he's popular. You get the point. And democracy, as we have it here, is the decision of the majority. The man is popular. That is number one. Number two, there's a perception about Kennedy, whether you like it or not. People think that he's truthful. Yes, that's a perception. He's a no-nonsense man. And that is the kind of leader they want, like the JJ type. In this country, when your party comes to power and you are standing trial, and only prosecutor is filed, then you are left to go. We believe that someone like Kennedy Japan will not do that.
We had that perception about Nanato, but many say he disappointed us.
It's true.
So
Nanato in his first term was doing very, very well. Something happened. You see, his attention was diverted to a project that was not going to help him. Otherwise, if you go back, you will see when Nanato came, it was quite exciting. And the potentials were there.
So let's use the first thing you've talked about, his popularity.
Yeah.
The argument is, if you claim that your candidate is very popular, in 2023, you have a constituency that determined who would lead the party into the 2024 election. And that's a section of the Ghanaian populace, your delegates. When he stood against Bawumia was proven to be more popular than him, because Bawumia got 60-something%, he managed to get 30-something%. So you see, the argument is, if you claim that he's popular, why couldn't he win in that small constituency? He was not the most popular.
I've told you, you know the monitor, but you know what happened in MPP? Something we all of us, including the party leadership, are aware, and we're trying to cure that. So let's broaden the horizon or the number of people.
Expand the college.
Yes. So that people will not buy votes. You get the point. And so this is known. And I've told you about how the album was compiled. It was MPs compiling their album.
So Bawumia won because he bought votes?
Oh, are you not aware that the people were paid money to vote? They call it monetization.
Did Kennedy pay money?
Yes, he did.
So they were all doing the same thing?
Exactly. You have to give them transportation. Some gave more than others. And apart from the transportation, people were paying money. This is a fact.
So
something that the party should cure.
So for Kennedy to win currently, we need to pay more.
No, he can't pay more because he's not the richest amongst them. You get the point. In terms of
can he still win if it is money that determines who wins?
That is the
if he's not the richest, how can he win?
That is the money. I'm telling you, that's what happened in 2023. But that is what we are working on.
You are changing that.
Yes. And we have not slept. We are consistently telling the delegates why it will be risky to take a small amount of money, vote for a candidate who cannot win national election, and then go back to opposition.
You've talked about the fact that he's also truthful. He's seen to be truthful.
Yes.
But some say he's not consistent because we've heard him say, "Mekura president.
Yes.
Take your president. If you're president, we go chop." Now he says he wants to become president. So the Ghanaian people are asking, how do you trust such a person? The other thing is, we've heard him, on countless of occasions, when it comes to the fight against corruption. When Anas did his work against Kusi Yentechi, and it was clearly shown in that video that Kusi Yentechi was taking some amount of money to do all kinds of things. The significant defender of Kusi Yentechi was Kennedy Japan. So the question is, if you say he will fight corruption, he's truthful, he will not allow people to siphon state resources. The Kusi Yentechi example maybe will give us a different opinion.
So let's take it one by one.
Yes.
The first one is that he has changed his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that he's not truthful if he changes his mind?
Because some people think consistency matters in politics.
What is consistency about changing your mind?
You need to be consistent in your views and your expressions.
He's consistent in his views.
But he has been changing position.
And resolute in changing the destiny of Ghanaians. He changed his mind as to whether or not he can be a president or not. And you see, if I told you the story how Kennedy Japan suddenly declared, you'll be surprised.
So it was sudden?
Huh?
It was a sudden declaration?
It was a sudden declaration. He had people of prominent position begging him to go. And so he had to change his decision and honor what they have said. And those people are still behind him. And they have good reasons for being behind him. And in terms of the Anas thing, I thought we should rather give Kennedy Japan a credit. Anas was doing business. Did you watch Who Watches the Watchman?
I did.
Anas was doing business. And it took one man, Kennedy, the spirit called Kennedy or Hine Japan, to stop him. Otherwise, by now, he would have taken over this country. He was doing business. And Kennedy exposed him. That is what there is about.
Lastly, some say he's not presidential in the way he speaks.
Yeah. Like Trump.
They say, Charlie, when we look at the videos of Kennedy Japan, some of the things he has said about women, some of the things he has said, the fight he has gotten into with people, you would think, oh, Kennedy Japan, why? And they think the language he uses, the kinds of insults he can, invoke on people, and the kind of words. Some Ghanaians look at him and say, this is not the kind of president we want.
I've not heard him insult anybody.
Oh, I've heard him insult Kusi Ajaben. You've not heard.
No.
John Mahama.
What did he say about
it? And he used a word, some words that I can't use on radio.
About Kusi Ajaben?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Not just that. He has other things that I can't repeat.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that?
I thought he was describing the.
Did you hear what he said about Tracy Boache and Afia Schwarzenegger?
No, those people, I don't want to talk about them.
Did you hear what he said about John Mahama? That John Mahama should be burnt alive. You heard that?
What I know is that Kennedy stops people from misbehaving. Those Tracy Boache and whatever, it was Kennedy who stopped them from misbehaving. When people are doing negative things in the society and people can't stop them, he can. He has stopped many. Those pastors who robbed people, duped them, he stopped them. And they confessed. So the man is not just a presidential material, he's a spirit. He's somebody who can stop those negative things in society. And the way he approaches it is what people don't understand. he give it to them according to the measure which they deserve. And when he does, they stop. The results is the most important thing. If you are coming here and you are laughing and you don't have a solution, how can you lead? It's about leadership. It's about stopping something. I was comparing him to Trump. Trump does worse things. He slapped people before he
But
became
he
a
himself has said we shouldn't compare him to Trump. He's very different. Haven't you heard
He's
that?
very what?
Kennedy Aponyi himself has said he's not like Trump.
Yes, but he
himself has said that.
He has the traits of J.J. Rawlings and Trump. Combined.
Which you think is good?
They all got results for us. Can we write the history of Ghana without talking about Rawlings? He made an impact with his temperament.
Can Kennedy Aponyi be believed? Because the man who said it is waste of time to go to church was seen not long ago in church, being prayed upon. And
you see, people, he never said it was a waste of time. He said that during working hours, we should not be seen sitting in churches and praying when you have to work and change your destiny. And that is the leader we want.
He also said that if you go into farming, it's amount to waste of money. Now he's farming.
Who said that?
He.
I haven't heard him.
Oh,
he's a farmer himself.
But he has said that farming
if you cultivate,
is a useless business.
He hasn't said that. If you
Maybe let me find a video.
If you take him out of context, then you say that. But if he talks about the returns of...
Yeah, that's what...
Exactly. You see, so if you take him out of context, that is how it will sound. But if there's nothing in farming, by the way we do our farming, that is why he has acquired a 30,000 acre land in the Volta region to do farming. Why? He's giving an example that the kind of farming I'm talking about is the commercial one, so that we can export the produce. Not that farming is a waste of time, no, but the way manner the state has made farming. Look, no young educated person would want to go into farming, but there's this man who was a council of state member. If you see his farm, you love to do farming.
The way he has.
I'm telling you. The one who shares boundary with Wuntumi. If you go and look at the kind of farming he's doing. So that is what Kennedy is saying. He's not saying farming is... they take him out of context. There's a story about Kennedy complaining about party people meeting in secret.
Yes,
he
then said MPP was...
when he described them in the term... Because that act is an act of what he said. You meet... caucus meeting and you go and release the info to the opposition radio. And he described it in those terms. And people are saying, hey, he has insulted the party. We don't want to hear the truth. So the man is an action man.
Beyond everything that we've said so far, and to corroborate the point that you just made, we realize that he seems to be the man who is loved on the street. I mean, anytime Kennedy Aponyi appears on the street, it's like he pulls the crowd. He's a crowd puller kind of individual. Do you think that can, if given the opportunity, with the performance that we've seen from the NDC, assuming things stabilize the way it is, can Kennedy do any magic? Because some people think the most important thing is how the government of the day solves their problems. It doesn't matter how popular you are. If they think they have solved their problems, they'll go ahead and vote for them.
You Ghanaians, you see, NDC is enjoying their holiday. Very shortly, you see the demonstrations, you see the pressure, you see people calling upon the government to fix their rules. That is where the business begins. You get the point. So they will not be like this forever. And in any way, amongst the factors that wins power includes popularity. Somebody who pulls crowds. So economics is one, but the crowd pulling is also another. And so Kennedy already has that. All he needs is to appoint the right people to lead his campaign, and he will achieve the purpose. Look, this man is coming with a promise that he's going to create jobs for Ghanaians. And that is his mantra. Jobs, jobs, jobs. And he demonstrates it by showing that he is capable of creating jobs. And to me, that is good enough because the youth are hungry. I mean, people are staying home without work. So if there's somebody who has ideas, look, have you witnessed one of his unity campaign tours. Have you witnessed him? He goes with coconut.
Yeah, he goes with
oil, with those kind of, with how do you call it, that plantain, the stem of plantain. And he's telling you that I can use the natural resources around us to transform this country. It's awesome. We have not heard it before. Such ideas. And at least we have to try some of these things, because we have had the gentlemen, the academics, the lawyers and all that. The message the man is selling, as a people, we should decide to try and see if indeed there's something in those kind of pragmatic thinking, rather than this colonial mentality. If you go to secondary school, the one who speaks the best English is the SP. The one who is able to tuck in his shirt is a Danny Hall prefect. So when you come to politics, the one who speaks English should be a it is wrong, please. Governance is not about English language.
It's not
about professorial position. It is about the ability to transform your world. And somebody who is in his private life has been able to transform his world, employed people, assisted others. He assists people. He's a philanthropist. He come to Konfanochi and the cancer machine is in trouble. He said, I'll fix it. I will use my own money. They say that he is doing that because the state has given him contracts. There are many other people who have had contracts. But how many of them have built hospitals for us?
Okay.
But, so it is in his nature to do that. You get the point. So Ghanaians ought to try him and see that if those people, those kind of people, are worth leading the country, rather than consistency in this is not a presidential material. This is who is a presidential material?
Somebody who has
Margaret Thatcher.
The temperament.
Yes.
When there is pressure, when there's confusion, when there's chaos,
somebody
he can calm situations down.
No.
He can allow logic to apply, and he will not be emotional in the decisions.
Appoint him a bishop. You should crack the whip as a leader. That's leadership.
That's the kind of leadership we think we need.
That is what leadership is about. That's why Jesus deliberately cracked the whip. He was given an example. He's the author and finisher of our faith. Everything he did was correct. He cracked the whip when the need arose. You get the point. So the point that we are making is that the mentality of a Ghanaian, of a leader, is not what we have had in the past. We had J.J. Rollins, who was a good example. Later on, he decided to do politics. Do you remember they called him Junior Jesus?
Okay. So
has broken
we'll fix it. Now,
they called him Junior Jesus because he could crack the whip. Like Jesus did. Kennedy Japan will crack the whip. He will betray his party people who decide to steal state funds.
Let me just pick some few calls and then we'll wrap up the conversation. This one says that it's unfortunate, but Alan was the hope and MPP lost him. Kennedy might have his positives, but as a president, he's not ideal. Kennedy comes across as opportunistic and dishonest, but Bawumia is a non-starter. He's very dishonest, incompetent, and regressive. So who are you choosing? It's like you don't like. Let me speak to this caller briefly, and then we'll come again and wrap up with lawyer William Kusi. Good morning.
Good morning, Alpha.
Yes, BY briefly. This morning,
I will say that the lawyer has dealt very well with the
support. Then we think about pampering people. You have to cut the rape. If the person has wrong, it is the face. Don't because you want to save your party. You must save the country, not your party. So I admire his submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, BY. BY says that he admires lawyer William Kusi's submission. 0541022318. You can also join me if you are a supporter of Ken, if you are a supporter of other candidates and you have questions for lawyer. He's always ready and willing to answer your questions. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Alpha.
Yes, Roman.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Alpha. My board lawyer, but I'm giving him he's doing a good job for Kennedy. He's good. I'm pleading to the delegates. Kennedy is number one. When we go to market, when we go to maybe Accra, because in this Christmas I was in Accra, Circle, Tudu, Kanishi, MPP delegates, we should listen to what people are saying on the ground. We should vote for Ken. Because the youth need job. So they should vote for Kennedy Japan so that we will get power 2028.
Thank you very much, Roman, for joining us this morning. He said that we should vote for Ken. He agrees with lawyer. Sorry. You can also call me and be part of the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Abba.
Yes, please tell me your name and where you're calling me from.
This is Asari, Abba.
Yes, Asari, briefly, your thoughts.
You're not going to say the lawyers. Now, maybe I came na Chicha and say, Belgians, no, and I'm going to my could be a party, no, MPP party, na Casape. You know, my moon na pay. Now, season your cast, I said, Omonti, and I'm going to pay. One million party, they pay. You need your mind, pay. Kennedy, when you perform, when you be our Casabasa. When you are being ya of the catcher, and not an I am paying. Everything they phone will be up at the only Canadian. And it's a moment push will be. Yeah, we bet you a cow be a minimum on a monte.
Okay.
Yes, Romo, Omuni, or mine pay, any party pay.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. 0541022318. You can also join the conversation this morning. We'll pick few calls and then, of course, we'll wrap up with lawyer and then we'll continue the conversation in studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Alpha.
Yes, Eja. Talk to me.
Alpha, me the kakra me kafa the lawyer can extra medical facility in Germany. No, was it the whole Germany? The best medical facility. Who the entire that is in Baka said or Bahabe dinner. Yes, yeah, we're gonna you Ghana for being so my call a good check on your moya or move. Now say a higher the best. Me so I believe in traditional medicine. And you say, be our city and was so few. Now, if you are a one matrimonial, no. I idea and walk upon. African, I believe in traditional medicine. And this I mean, you didn't know that's a wound in Nimachi. Now, because I'm in Hoya, and then I'm in the domain.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeff, for joining us this morning. Let's pick just two, and then we'll wrap up the conversation. Just to close, we don't have a lot of time this morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please tell me your name and where you're calling me from.
Please, I'm Osman, calling from Babo.
Osman Ababo, talk to me.
Yeah, I want to ask lawyer that what would you like as a patriotic Ghanaian for we to have a better economy so that the NDP can power back? Or for it to have a shamble economy so that Kennedy might come power here.
Okay, he will try and answer that question. I think it's a question he's asking. So let's take the last one, 0541022318. Those of you who are unable to come through with your calls, you can send me text, WhatsApp messages on 05939329993. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can go there, watch us live, and post your comments, and then of course we'll do justice to them. Lawyer, these are some of the views that have come through in the last question.
I never wished that the economy of Ghana breaks, and not at all.
Okay.
I would prefer that the CD will remain where it is, and the inflation will be down for Kennedy to take over so that it will improve upon that. But you see, it is not within my power to control that. But usually, every government that comes to power enjoys the first year. It's like some holiday. It happened to Kufuor, it happened to Akosua. Exactly. So
Mills.
It is not strange. But I wish that Ghana would be better.
Okay.
But if it doesn't, Japan is the one who holds the key to changing the destiny of Ghana, creating jobs for the youth, and ensuring that, you see, somebody who is passionate about a cripple who is sitting by the roadside will be passionate about you when things are not going on well. And that is the kind of heart we need for leadership in Ghana.
Okay.
So I'm pleading with the delegates, don't make the second mistake. At first you didn't know. You thought that Bawumia will bring the votes. He came and failed. Let us not try the second time. We have a better candidate who is more popular, who is affable, who is loved by the people, and who loves us back because he gives what he earns back to us. Vote for Kennedy Japan for a better Ghana.
Interesting. I'm sure this will not be the last time we'll have lawyer here, because it's always interesting having him in studio. So thank you very much, lawyer, for joining us this morning and to talking to us about very important matters. The first one and then the second one, all of them.
I've invited my brother.
Brian Achampon is also here.
So that we find a portfolio for them in Gambling.
So they should